Second lesson we have learned in the last couple of months is that we've done summits in DRC, in UK, in USA, in South Africa. We've appointed 6 trade representatives to manage these markets. We want to open a trade hub in Belgrade, which will be replicated in several parts of the world, starting with Entebbe. And we want to do some surveys to get export preparedness training for this third quarter of 2023. We've also launched national quarterly broadcasts. The president kicked this off with the tourism sector, and the next broadcast will be on 23rd of August on agriculture. We've gotten very good media attention specific on Ugandan products, very good interviews with our producers and our leaders in the public and private sector. And these interviews are not political. They are focused on coffee, on fruits and vegetables, and the wonders of our country, how beautiful we are as a tourist destination. A number of trade agreements signed, we're following through, and we're signing new ones, for example, with the Republic of Serbia in June, to ensure that we can either remove or lower the cost of taxation of our coffee, fruits, vegetables, grains, avocados. On infrastructure, we are working with the Ministry of Works on Entebbe Airport, with the Civil Aviation Authority, with Uganda Airlines, with Uganda Air Cargo, to deal with the question of detection. Detection means you have very good analytical labs, you have very good detection for micro residue levels that of chemicals are used in food safety, animal disease labs, surveillance and inspection capacity at Entebbe, at Mpondwe, at Malaba, at Mutukula, at Elegu. We're working on digitization of all our export documents and processes. We're finalizing sanitary and phytosanitary standards for these 13 products. This is all infrastructure that will give us the success of $6 billion. The president announced work on aerodromes in Gulu, Yarua, Kisoro, Pakuba, Kotido. We work on this because we know that this is extremely important to drive exports. The other learning is on compliance. We still face challenges on interceptions, on trade agreements. We're still facing issues incorporating research and scientists into our trade effort to commercialize scientists' findings, but we're working on it. That's the reason we're with the Ministry of Science and Technology, and we're beginning to work out how to deal with these sectors, especially agriculture, with that ministry. So that was test number 2, which we called ECG. Test number 3 is what I call the liver test. Remember, I'm using the human body to build the economy as an example. The third is the liver test, where we check the enzymes called AST, ALT. These 2 enzymes measure the capacity of the liver to perform well. The equivalent of this organ brings us the question, what is a differentiator for Uganda after COVID-19 lockdowns? Doesn't Kenya, Rwanda, or Tanzania have all we have? Why would anyone invest in agriculture and industry? So you have to answer 4 things with that liver test. First, credibility, that we do what we say as a country and we make commitments to follow through irrespective of the issues we might have. Number 2, that we can sustain the rule of law, land tenure systems, the turnaround time for decision making, the predictability of government, the independence of institutions to attract capital and talent. This is the liver test for the economy. The other one is the opportunity cost. Is it worth to invest here 5 or 40 years? Obviously for me, anybody investing beyond 10 years, that's a hero, because they trust the country, they are willing to slog it out wherever it is, but also willing to benefit with a good return. So the opportunity cost of spending your money here longer or short term, we have to help people spend and stay and invest. That's why we work with tourism, because we know it cuts through agriculture, hospitality, hotels, so that people can stay longer and spend here and create jobs. The other one is our competitiveness indices. Where does our country stand in digital competitiveness, in the ranking in that area? On e-governance index, on human capital index, on global talent report index, on logistics performance, on open data inventory index, on rule of law, on travel and tourism competitiveness. We have to watch these vitals the way you watch those enzymes in the liver in order for you to know that this country can grow, can overcome poverty, can industrialize, can compete, can have ambition to be the best in the world. The fourth and final test is what I call the kidney test, or what they call the creatinine check. This is the ability of the body to eject excess salts and other elements that cause obstruction. We equate this in the economy with the following. One, do you have consequences for deliberately taking wrongful action when you are working in the public sector? When I was thinking about this, I remember the late Keith Mhakanizi. He did a meeting with us at OPM, Office of the Prime Minister, on 19th of January, and he was complaining about the increasing level of accidents, yet there is no public revulsion or enforcing standards, and he was saying there's chaos on our roads. And I remember saying it's just there's no consequence for wrong action, so people do what they want to do, and the Bible tells us that where there is no vision, a country can get lost, an institution can get lost. So the ejection check or the creatinine test is, are you able to have consequences for those who take deliberately wrongful action? The second one on this test for me is taking personal responsibility to fight off failure and learn from it. Why is it easier to blame and not own up our actions? The third one in that area is following through on commitments of the president that he has made to the country. So the national quarterly broadcast, which will be done in August, will reflect on what we did in April. The final one is coordination to reduce jurisdictional fights in between institutions so that we can deliver. All those four things I've mentioned constitute a regular ejection of what is wrong in an economy or country and brings a sense of freshness to the body, just as much as it would bring freshness to the economy. So in terms of looking ahead, we want to finalize laws and regulations of sanitary and phytosanitary standards, and we commission them publicly. We want ministries responsible to commit in writing, for example, the Ministry of Agriculture, the contribution on the fund so that it can allow us to leverage this and raise more money. Commitment on a freeze-dry coffee plant, which would be run by the Coffee Consortium, composed of young people, coffee research, commercialization of research with the Ministry of Science and Technology. These are things we will continue to work on to ensure that that third aspect that was done by the young people of the 70s and 80s, now we take a line and grow the country to another level. Thank you and have a great weekend.
I'd like to hear from you. Please email us at info@tapmedia.com and visit our website at www.tapmedia.com. You can also visit our offices located at Tomosi Business Park, Luzira, Port Bell Road, or call 0414 220 702. Thank you.